While many names have fallen victim to the ongoing gang war in Jacksonville, Florida, some names have flourished among the survivors on the streets. One such name is ATK Scotty, who is said to be the most lethal shooter among the Yungeen Aces soldiers. In this video, I will explore the tale of this allegedly vicious character in a way you have never seen before. ATK Scotty is not a rapper, but he has been quite prominent in the ongoing bloody conflict between two of the most dangerous gangs in Jacksonville, Florida. ATK Aces top killers and KTA killed them all, while members of both gangs have been killing their rivals in songs. Though his true name is Leroy Whitaker, this lethal shooter is better known by his alias ATK Scotty. Scotty, who has little time to rhyme, is reported to be shooting their opponents in real life. Scotty 33, or Scottie Pippen. Even if there are many unanswered questions about him outside of the rumors, there are some facts we can learn from his nickname alone. Leroy's nickname originates from a basketball player named Scotty. Michael Jordan and basketball player Maurice Pippen Sr. were teammates. The ATK Scotty got his nickname for being a real shooter. But this nickname also provides two important details about Scotty that many people are unaware of. It's common knowledge in the hood that when someone is named after a basketball player, it means they are a shooter. The word shooting is a play on the word shooting, which is a skill in basketball and literally means gunning people down. ATK Scotty shares two more similarities with the player he was nicknamed after. The real Scottie Pippen was a great defender and one of the greatest in NBA history. This is similar to ATK Scotty's role in his game, because rumors claim that ATK Scotty is always ready to take down anybody who might be a threat to them. If you think about it, Scottie Pippen, the player, wasn't the best shooter during his time or ever. If ATK Scotty got his name just for being a shooter, it would have been better to call him ATK Steph or ATK Thompson. Another resemblance is that, much like Michael Jordan was the captain of his team, Yungeen Ace is the commander of his top killers, and ATK Scotty can be thought of as his sidekick in order to appropriately carry out his duties. Scottie Pippen was regarded Jordan's sidekick for the most of his career. ATK Scotty made the decision to give up the limelight for the gang's rappers, while he dealt with removing rivals and threats. He doesn't chase clout, appear in music videos, or post countless pictures of himself on social media, yet he's quite famous as a prominent player in the ongoing gang war. His reputation precedes him. In fact, we might call him the bogeyman of the Jacksonville gang war, because not even ATK's most disrespectful rival has dared to diss ATK Scotty in a song. On the contrary, his allies have praised him several times for being a ruthless shooter, and a good one at that, in a song titled "Ben Dead" raps about how Scotty saved his life with his shooting skills. Should have killed me in Waycross. They hopped out with them. KS me and Scotty busting back. We was on the same page. This was right after ATK's rival gang tried to assassinate Chu. If Chu had been alone, perhaps they would have gunned him down. But Scotty's presence saved Sue that day, as the two of them were able to prove to their rivals that they could never be caught lacking. In another track titled Dead Op 6s by Ku and ATK Zui the Two, rappers spilled some info about ATK Scotty that gave more insight into his ruthlessness. Jimbo liked to chase sharpshooters like KD would pull up in your face. So Sue wrapped them and left him outdoors like they did those 8 people who chased him down and ate his face. Summon 33 and summon that Pippen youngster. Sue mentioned that ATK Scotty went by 33 and Pippen, claiming that Scotty delighted in pursuing his victims. Indeed, there have been rumors that Scotty pursued his victims before shooting them dead. I'll discuss a few of these rumors later in this video. In verse 33, Easy also said, "Don't need no mask. Run down, bare face. Go on your take once. You know I'm a spaz when I have them." There have been reports that Scotty doesn't wear a mask when conducting an operation because the target will either be dead or too scared to report him. Nevertheless, these are not the only instances in which we have been shown just how lethal ATK Scotty can be in an uncommonly candid moment. Killers outside laid up in your grass. Once again, on his since deleted Twitter page, Scotty revealed a startling admission. "I can't even begin to count how many times I've done whack." This shocking confession reveals that Scotty has killed at least 10 people, and probably far more. It becomes even more shocking when you consider that Scotty was only 18 years old when he posted the tweet. Scotty was eventually arrested in 2020 in connection with a broad daylight murder, which I will also tell you more about later. The case has been pending in court for a while, and Scotty is still in custody. But the interrogation videos and other updates about him show that he is still the same deadly shooter that has been reported on the streets of Jacksonville. In a viral interrogation video that was released sometime last year, Scotty was recorded singing the lyrics to the song Rolling by King Von. Rolling this only serves to highlight Scotty's lack of concern for his current circumstances. It was clear that he wouldn't crumble under questioning, pressure, or provide the police with any helpful information. And that is precisely what happened, demonstrating Scotty's brutality as a killer, even though he is currently incarcerated. Now, let's go back to the beginning of this entire story to see how ATK Scotty developed into one of Jacksonville's deadliest shooters. Florida Yungeen Ace and Julio Fulio are the two primary protagonists in ATK vs. KTA. Without them, the entire Jacksonville feud probably would not have occurred. Yungeen Ace is to ATK Scotty what Michael Jordan is to Scottie Pippen. He is the captain and the star, whereas ATK Young Ace, who came up from the streets as a rapper talking about real-world circumstances and the difficult life he's had to undergo, lives happily in it, while Scotty, his right-hand guy, chooses to stay out of the spotlight. Ace was raised by his single mom alongside 11 brothers, but he was an eagle that knew he had to soar, so he left home at a young age to hustle for a better life rather than being a victim of the circumstances. He found himself in Ace, chose to rap about it, and in 2017 his rap career took off since the streets were too tough to survive alone. Yungeen Ace teamed up with several gangs before eventually starting his own called ATK, short for Ace's Top Killers. However, Yungeen Ace wasn't the only budding rapper from Jacksonville who attracted lots of attention in the rap scene. On the other side of town from him was Julio Fulio. Just like Ace, Fulio has had a really tough life, maybe even tougher, as he was surrounded by murders right from childhood. His father was murdered, his uncle was murdered, and before he was 20, over 15 of his friends had been murdered. Puberty for Fulio came with a murder attempt as he was shot multiple times at a tender age of 15. According to Fulio, he bought his first gun in 7th grade because he already had beef with deadly rivals. By then, Fulio also started his own game called 6 Block, named after his hood. They eventually merged with some other gangs and became KTA, short for Kill Them All. From their story, you can tell that beef in Jacksonville, Florida is totally different from the ongoing Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef in Jacksonville, Florida. The worst thing about having a beef is that it never ends with a rival's death. Instead, it leads to bad blood and an insatiable thirst for vengeance, which is exactly what happened between ATK and KTA. No one can pinpoint the exact beginning of their beef, not even Yungeen Ace or Julio Fulio, the two major gang leaders, although many of their members were affiliated with each other at some point. Although Fulio and Ace never met in person, they shared mutual friends. One of Fulio's followers was Ace's cousin, and one of Ace's closest friends, SUU, was once a follower of Fulio. As both ATK and KTA grew in numbers and influence, it was inevitable that the widely held belief is that it all started with one man's death, Zion Brown, and his assassination. Zion Brown belonged to the PCE. Issue Kids Entertainment (CC) was a vicious group that committed an offense for which they were charged under RICO. PC and 187 Boys, now known as 1200, were rival gangs that got into a fight at a Kodak Black's concert in November 2015. After a few years, Trey Shorty, a friend of Yungeen Ace, decided it was a good idea to kill his rival Zion Brown. He went to Zion's house that night after texting a friend about his plans, broke in with a brick, and opened fire on his target. Investigators believed that Trey Shorty was not alone at Zion's house on the night of the murder. They said that someone was sitting on the couch watching the murder show. Trey Shorty was arrested for Zion's murder because Zion was astute enough to identify his killer just before he passed away. There is a widely held belief that the person who went missing that night was none other than Yungeen Ace. However, this is only a rumor and cannot be verified. What is known is that Zion Brown, the victim, is Julio Fulio's blood cousin, and their body count was somewhat near. The resulting war between ATK and KTA has claimed so many lives, it's a surprise the human race is not yet extinct in Jacksonville. This war has seen the rise and fall of many names, some gang members, some innocent. So much shooting has gone down